H2K on the blue side, as Zia has been the first pick for the last 2 blue side games, and it will remain the case in the 3rd consecutive attempt.
Twisted Fate again from OG, and then there's the Kindred ban up against Amazing, Nidley against Jankos.
Alright,
so
looking for
that one away, but that's been open and he's not taking it as well. Caston against XpeKe.
Ooh. Oh yeah, XpeKe's obviously got your Caston, because the difference between laning against a mediocre Caston and a super experienced one is massive. Especially if you look at what XpeKe has done with Caston in the past.
Yeah. All those highlight reel players.
I think Cloud9 remembers.
Yeah.
This champion is not broken. Let's not ban it 2 games in a row. Oh.
Still hurting for that one, I think.
Yep.
Last ban in from OG, 5 seconds remaining.
Has to be Sivir.
Yeah.
But it won't be.
Nope. It's going to be Lissandra. Okay, up against Ryu. I mean, a lot of these are now turning into target bans from the series, other than those first 2 ban outs. And now there's so much on the table. There's Sivir. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see a Sivir first pick from H2K again.
This is where H2K look at their Disney classics and I think, have we just received the poisonous apple? I mean, it's almost too easy to just lock it in here. Obviously, you want to take a moment to poise and see what is Origen thinking here. Why are they giving up Sivir? Obviously, Origen looking to win at least 1 lane matchup here.
Wonder what that will be. XpeKe this year has played LeBlanc twice and Corki once. Now back then when he was playing, Corki helped hide some of the mechanical deficiencies he had. And this is a pivot, near insta-luck.
I was gonna at least bring up, I think we need to see Braum up in priority, Alistar down, because at least you have a little bit of a poke in the lane. Not much, but also just the fact that you can destroy projectiles. And it just makes it slightly easier to deal with some of these pushes from Sivir. But the Ekko steal, this is what we've been waiting for.
Now, does this mean SoaZ is going to play it, or does XpeKe, now that he's joining the team, play it? Because we have seen in rare cases Ekko flex into the mid lane.
SoaZ is playing it.
100%?
100%.
You want to bet on that?
I will eat a shoe if XpeKe plays.
Oh, okay.
Actually, lie?
Well, you said it now. You've said it now. We'll find you a gingerbread shoe then, so it'll make life a little easier. With 20 seconds left on the clock, Nidley is already gone. Kindred is off the table. Graves is still up. And Jankos played Graves fairly well in the early stages of the series, but we'll have a slight pivot and blind pick LeBlanc.
Blind pick LeBlanc here to keep the rest of the champions in the dark. Obviously, Caston is a good matchup in LeBlanc, because every time she wants to trade, you get the Null Sphere, and LeBlanc can't really force it so hard. So I need to see if XpeKe has an answer here. This is Ryu throwing down the gauntlet, though. It's like, XpeKe, you semi-retired mid laner, you come into my lane, my house, you want to swap into my series? No, you're going down.
That ain't happening in this series, so what does XpeKe respond with? Probably looking at a jungle pick here as well.
I really hope he doesn't respond with Ekko Fit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be eating a shoe.
And that would be delicious. To watch, not to eat.
All right, what are some of the matchups into LeBlanc? Lissandra's already banned away. If you want to get some early control, we've seen Corki a whole bunch in the past.
I mean, that's the matchup we've seen so often.
Varus as well, but there'll be no real magic damage threat on the side of Origen, if that is the case.
Lucian and
Gragas. So that's going to be the jungle option for Amazing, we assume. Most likely. It's going to be relying on counter pick option here.
Not that LeBlanc is locked in, though. It's not a double TP mid laner. So you could also just go for like a defensive Orianna if you're XpeKe. Something he has played in the past too. Take a page out of Power Evil's book.
We kind of get back in here.
Kind of BM, you know, swap out your player that's like a staple Orianna player, and it's like, no, I'm just gonna pick that.
Yeah. Okay, final 2 pickers from H2K. They have locked in the Trundle. All right, so that still could be support depending on this last pick.
So they figured out, do we play Poppy to the Ekko, Maokai into the Ekko, or we just go Trundle and pick Alistar as support.
Quite like that Trundle. Gonna allow him to steal a lot of those tanky stats, even amplified once Braum starts hopping around, stand behind me, giving us defensive stats to people as well, so bonuses all round. Last few seconds.
It's a very minor bonus though, because
it helps, it all helps.
Braum maxes W last.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I stole 2 armor.
Trundle ultimate is very impactful, influential in these fights, especially in a heavy tank-oriented meta.
Alright, this is the pick that will illuminate OG's composition. Tell us where everything's going. In B4, Gragas flex top, Ekko goes mid, and lock in jungle.
Yeah, that would make me sad.
Well, I'm the type of guy who runs 1% crit, so this is the play that you have to make.
Okay, it's a Lulu hover. I'm not going to get excited yet because He swapped away from... It's locked!
Yeah.
Lulu locked, so Lulu mid for XpeKe.
Ruined.
I mean, this is back to... hang on, 20 seconds is the mark where they can switch.
Yeah.
But yeah, under the assumption that not a single shoe will be eaten on this day, and Lulu goes mid, it's a matchup where once you hit level 6, it's pretty safe into LeBlanc. LeBlanc plus Elise can lock down and make XpeKe's life a living hell though. If he survives the early game, Origen have access to a 1-3-1 with peel from their jungler, with destruction of projectiles from the Braum, and a teleport advantage. So they have access to a real good mid game, but they need to be careful from the same gameplay that H2K put upon them in game 3 of the series.
Still got to respect Ryu though on LeBlanc running that Ignite in the early game. Lulu does have decent damage, but she's still not LeBlanc. And then H2K have very good ways to get into fights once again.
And more importantly here for Origen, they did not draw 3 losing lanes, so going to be interesting matchup. Early game could be extremely impactful. The coaches shaking hands for one more time. H2K are 2-1 up in the series, and this game could send them to their very first EU LCS final. Back-to-back third-place battles, and this might be the turnaround for them up against one of the league's most well-known players in XpeKe.
Very true. And OG are the team who have made it to the finals, so they would be taking that away from them in one fell swoop. Once again, you can see the team compositions. Hashtag H2K win, hashtag OG win. Tell us your thoughts on Twitter. See if it's changed from that game 1, as we are now on match point with H2K as we're heading into this 4th game. This could be curtains for OG or the start of a new story, as they could still make that playoff run at the finals.
Yeah, and H2K is looking to go for some early aggression and picks overall. They want to shut down the game, get control of it at least before this double TP 1-3-1 gets online, because Vander's running an Ignite, for example. Just aggression coming out from H2K.
Yeah, 2 Ignites from H2K.
You know, I'd never want to do that because I'd misspell the word. I'd be like, oh, G, Z, oh, no, and then it just all goes wrong. So I could never be that guy.
Good thing you
talk for a living.
Talk for a living. Yeah. Afraid to spell one word.
Yeah.
Play-by-play caster.
Yeah, that's why we do maths and then fail that instead. OG going for the invade here. 5 men going over this ward. Should be able to get this deep ward as well. Chasing that squirrel away. Get
Right,
it so
but what are they chasing? If Origen are going for deep vision,
They want the lane swap. So again, they still don't want to get Sivir's AFK push against them. Obviously, they can shut down Jankos in the early game. Get him less ganks here, picks offs. Just keep trading. Get to that mid game, and then on a long open map, make use of some of these teleports. That's what they're looking for. Let's see if H2K reacts with a blind swap. And now the map is actually divided, and this is the difference between going for a 50-50 swap. Origen actually start... The only counter to this play, before I quit my rant, is because they're starting in the same quadrant, if Forgiven and Vander were hiding in the top lane right now, Origen game would be almost over, because they got pushed in here. It's not happening, but that's the risk of starting in the same quadrant with your bot lane and your jungler top lane duo. It's risky. Luckily for Origen, H2K did not make that predict.
And now Amazing can just go onto this blue buff with SoaZ starting off, that's fine. Did see Vander go into the mid lane, so looking for a potential play onto XpeKe, but he just walks to the top side of the lane, so it's fine. And then we just see it all pan out as normal.
So let's see how the lane swap plays out. Game 1, Origen prioritized a mid lane gank, despite having the Retail buff, despite pushing that inner tower bottom lane. And obviously H2K, they went for a tower kill. It ended up sort of separating the game. But what really broke that game open was H2K misplaying some of the team fights and the dives and giving Origen opportunities to get into the game. We didn't really see big mistakes in terms of the lane swap script that is very common and standard by this time.
Complete perfect execution here. We're seeing the strength of Sivir as a meta pick though. Solid in laning in terms of pushing, but also super strong in this lane swap scenario, which double AoE on 2 spells is just fantastic. That's why Forgive is almost out of mana here. So it should be a slight tempo lead on the side of H2K, ever so slightly though, not really going to matter too much.
Yeah, see if that can be exacerbated over phase 2. But SoaZ, yeah, he's just going to allow these minions to hit the tower and get taken down, so denying that stuff. So yeah, again, we're looking towards mid-game and what these teams can do there, because Ryu's now on LeBlanc, can be very more active. XpeKe's just trying to survive until 6, and then he's going to have wild growth, so he's going to be good to go.
Yeah, you can see those lane wards placed closer to those tier 2 turrets, which will give both Odoamne and SoaZ time to respond. Both level 2. We'll see who can get a additional level. Odo's already hit level 3. He'll be forced to back away first. And SoaZ will follow shortly thereafter. Also just ding 3. So also just really bang on even in terms of at least the opening stages. But look at the middle lane. Jankos is going to sniff some opportunities here as Ryu, he's going to jump forward onto XpeKe.
He's got the chains, he's walking the dog, and now Jankos comes in as well. The Volatile's piling, the auto attacks, the ignite. First blood over to Ryu. The gauntlet is thrown. And amazing, Al coming in, lands the barrel, but he's out of there.
And that is just absolutely perfect synergy. Dashing to chain is the play pattern for LeBlanc with any CC follow-up on the jungler. And XpeKe a little far forward. Maybe Amazing should have been there. Amazing was hovering around top to facilitate the base from SoaZ. Bit of a mistake. Obviously, XpeKe can now nullify that advantage a little bit by just pushing and denying some farm on Ryu. But Ryu gets the kill with the ignite.
And for the first game all series, Jankos is involved in First Blood. Able to punish XpeKe in this lane swap. And of course, H2K.
Has to feel rough though, coming in here. Put me in, coach. For XpeKe, comes in, dies in First Blood under 5 minutes.
Tag me out, coach.
How are people? You still around, mate?
Yeah. Jankos as well, as you mentioned, first time he's getting involved in this First Blood. Can you retain that title if like you only get it once in a series?
The stats are still phenomenal. That's 13. He's been involved in 13 First Bloods for H2K in 22 games.
All right.
So that is a fantastic number. Just behind it, by the way, is Shook and Airwax, who helped secure 9 First Bloods for their respective teams. Shook will have been on 21 games throughout the split, so...
All right, now we need to see if Origen do the same thing. SoaZ fails the lane swap a bit, so this is some tempo loss here, especially considering that H2K picked up the Rift Herald. SoaZ will now eventually take this tower down, but it's a lot slower than what happened on the other side of the map. Origen in game 1 had the Rift Herald and went for the push and button, just like H2K is doing now. Origen in game 1 met Odoamne there under the tower, and it became this 4v1 on one side versus 3v0 on the other side. Is Origen going to copy that, or just going to go for the blind mirror? I think at this point they need to almost send Mithy base down the bottom and defend their tier 2, because the Rift Herald push will be phenomenal here for H2K.
Let's see if that is the play out from Mithy. So far he's staying with his ADC. Jankos now invading. We'll probably go for the Braum. It's a little easier to get away from.
Yeah, he's just going to clear jungle, and then when the wave hits, he's going to come and buff that up with the Herald buff. That is play pattern. But SoaZ, I think he's way too late to move here, so Origen is actually going to pivot and go for a mid lane play. They're a little lost right here. I don't think they have the speed to really trade these towers, because the Herald push is going on big with the minions.
All right, so big damage in the middle lane here. XpeKe gets jumped on by Ryu multiple times, running out of mana, and has already used Wild Growth. Origen onto the inner turret in the top lane, but forgiven, Vander and Jankos, they're putting a lot of damage down with that Rift Herald buff, so they will get the advantage, and they should be able to push further. There's no recalls yet from Origen.
They're going to keep going right now, so that's exactly what we meant. Tempo difference and Rift Herald buff. Ryu is doing some damage in the mid lane, and that's why we saw Amazing on the minimap go left, right. Guys, do you need help mid, top? No? Oh. And that's why this is so much slower. While Niels is still finishing up the tower in the bottom, H2K is knocking on the inhibitor door.
Yeah, very reminiscent of game 2, but this time they did respond faster from OG. So parallel convergence comes down, everyone backs away, Zven takes the top lane tower, so they even up the towers this time, and it's not as bad.
Yeah, but the problem is H2K can just roll straight to middle lane.
The bases came out though. I think if they did that immediately, that would have been their play. I mean, taking an inhib tower down is pretty greedy. A rotation to mid for chip damage on tier 1 there. Could have been the right play, but at all costs H2K wanted that wave into the tower so it would bounce, so SoaZ wouldn't get a freeze here. Overall, not too much has happened, because that inhibitor tower is going to regen anyways. The biggest thing though is that XpeKe is losing some of these trades to Ryu.
Multiple times. XpeKe 59 CS to 57 in a matchup that really he should have had the advantage, at least in the opening levels. Obviously can't deny the fact that Jankos was involved in First Blood. Came to roll around.
Oh.
Blue buff secured by Origen. They knew the timing from the initial lane swap and taking control of the top half of the jungle. And I'll have to take a look at the timing once their blue comes back and available.
SoaZ is taking his sweet time though, pushing out that wave. And they will have double teleport. If XpeKe can survive here, we could see a good map play come out from Origen, because look what SoaZ is building up in the bottom lane. He is pushing out the slowest possible until he sees members approaching here.
Well, Mithy and Zven are looking to close in on top lane.
Forgiven, what the hell are you doing there alone?
Not in a good position. This is not a forgiven play, and Zven will easily pick that up. Amazing, just donates it over.
That is just a way big macro mistake. The map is split in half. H2K, you have control of the bot side, not the top side.
Yep.
That's a major mistake. Either Vander should have been there. Forgiven should have asked for help or not pushed here. H2K group in mid lane though. Challenge XpeKe.
A lot of support yet. Frontline's finally arriving. Amazing and Mithy. There's a ward behind H2K. Teleport is up for SoaZ as well. But he's got a lot of juicy farm to play with. 2-level advantage over Odoamne. 6-4, and it's 40 CS to 14. So here's a replay of really Forgiven just overstepping the mark.
Is Mithy gonna fight? No, Zven's gonna dash over and then Mithy's gonna jump. So yeah. It's just because Origen had control of this area right before. Amazing does a good job forcing Forgiven down the lane, because otherwise he would run up and it would take absolute ages to chase him down. But Origen had control in this area with vision due to the lane swap earlier, you know. Map was split up, Origen left side, H2K right side. Because that lane was super long, SoaZ took his time pushing out, and H2K felt like they needed to do something. Yeah, they did too much.
Just want to highlight the top lane advantage right now. SoaZ 2-level advantage and 51 farm to 15.
Just hit 7 Pulse, and even a cheeky Glitter Lance onto Ryu. The gold difference is 300 gold, and the massive, massive wave Origen are pushing in. Teleport is available for XpeKe, as is Wild Growth, Interrupts and Ryu. So this is just a major tempo advantage here for Origen.
Yeah, this is just they make use of that wave, and they really push it out slowly. While H2K should have 3 people pushing out earlier on the top lane. Doesn't matter what happened though. That's what happens now with this wave.
Good zoning out from SoaZ. Mithy just trying to toss out the Winters by trying to chip away at this tower. Jankos turns around. Mithy not level 6 yet, so doesn't have the Glacial Fissure, which is pretty big in this situation, so they will be backing off. They did have Amazing off to the back, just in case, but it's given H2K time to react, and they now have numbers.
It's very, very weird to see H2K honestly make 2 big lane swap mistakes we haven't seen from them. Origen, fantastic job punishing it overall. Getting a kill on the top side of the map while still pushing the bottom side is honestly very, very impressive overall. And they make it work, and now SoaZ is ahead, and now look at the... if you look at the top lane, this is where Zven would usually catch these waves. But they're actually giving farm prio to SoaZ right here, catching another big wave, cementing that advantage.
That's very, very important, because not only SoaZ has been a player that has been denied those resources in the past, he's got a champion that can change the entire course of the game. Odo is under threat of being caught out. Look for the barrel. The barrel is instantly flashed.
Mid lane though. That was a gank here. A flash from XpeKe after double dash chain came out. Sivir to use 2. Vander used flash as well. Flash you could.
And XpeKe has no way really to get away from this, and Van's trying to get in range, tries to minion taxi, but XpeKe, he just walks away.
H2K feeling very panicky overall. They still get the tower though overall, because Origen is swept in. They're putting value on getting SoaZ farm and denying Odoamne farm, and it does cost them the mid lane tower, so they need to get the payoff later on that once they start the 1-3-1. Really having one super winning matchup in the mid game can be enough to take control of the entire map here. Let's watch this again. XpeKe juke 1, flash 2. And they're also flashed to try and combo there. And then Jankos is going to flash 2, so that is 2 flashes used. More all the time on XpeKe.
Yep, it was just a combo there. The flash and the combo didn't quite land from Vander. He was trying to go onto a minion and have XpeKe in range, but really the safer option would have been like headbutt and then Sivir in range to actually Q flash, but...
Flash was already used earlier, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where he tried to use it when he came into the lane, but just couldn't quite connect with XpeKe, so it was an ultimate flash waste.
So it did not work out in favor of H2K. They do have at least a tower advantage and wave clear in the mid lane Forgiven. With that Essence Reaver, is just going to actually, quite frankly, plant himself here and expect to just defend this out to turret for as long as possible. It's a better objective becomes available. And for Origen, teleport's available for both SoaZ and XpeKe. So if they can play the side lanes, try to get some control, maybe we'll see XpeKe leave mid, leave Zven mid to defend.
Oh yeah, he should move to the side lane, definitely, at one point. He needs some vision around him. The Lulu can get chased down by Elise and LeBlanc. So we need to see what they do. They're obviously playing with multiple members to the top side of the map to just secure the Rift Herald, and then they'll figure out how they deal with the bottom side. They have some time. They sacrifice the blue buff because they're trading it for blue buff on the other side of the map.
Zven will be picking up that Rift Herald. 13 minutes in, there's time for another one, and OG just pushing down the mid lane. So in terms of advantage that they've accrued in this game, top lane 30 CS, bot lane is behind by 20 CS, mid lane is advances to XpeKe in terms of farm, but of course he had the kill earlier to Ryu.
A little risky. He's just going to body slam over the wall, though. Just pillar of ice, although maybe biting off a tad more than he can chew, doesn't step into the parallel convergence. But in the jungle, XpeKe has been jumped on.
I think he's good. Nice sidestep, and Ryu will chase after. Disengage from him, amazing over the wall. Vander's in chase, but doesn't have the ultimate, so he doesn't want to go all in.
That was a really good play by Amazing here. He breaks the tether for XpeKe so he can walk away. Another flash use to try and get that XpeKe booty on the bottom lane. Lucian pushing out now. So Zven, he's trying to catch up in farm, but it costs him map pressure. But now he has the momentum. We really need to see Origen switches up though, because Zven can't be stuck in the bottom lane. Because it's against everything you play for when you run that double teleport.
Really importantly for Zven, he picked up the kill that Origen have secured. The cull has paid off as well, so he's actually around 600 gold up over Forgiven, despite being down a wave of CS, so very, very helpful. You can see the goal differences there between each of the respective lanes, and SoaZ is catching this wave up top again.
Yeah, how quick is he going to push this out though? What is Origen's game plan here? We get a lot of information if he just instantly clears the wave, or is he going for a slow freeze? Every time Origen have taken a foot back, taken the foot off the pedal, they have been punished by really aggressive pick attempts by H2K. So that's why we see Origen push out their side lanes aggressively here. Leave very little mobility and room for opportunity for H2K to pick them off.
Finally, Spike has been completed by Odoamne picking up the Titanic Hydra. So as very often you see Echoes go for the triple components where you have the Sheen and the Glacial, and then
Shroud, yeah.
Glacial Shroud, and then Balmy Cinder, and now he goes into Gauntlet. Very often see that, or sometimes you even see like a Spectre's Cow as well and just have all the components.
Thrift shopping until you're ready.
Yeah.
But still, again, standard lane swap here. So we're 50 minutes in. We're even on basically every metric except for a tower. And Origen, again, I'm impressed with their early game. Yes, they got caught out, but this is a team that looked sloppy and messy against UOL last week and fell behind against UOL and then still bounced back in the mid game. So a lot of growth in a fairly short space of time.
No, they're definitely short up their fundamentals here. Origen pick up a dragon here. They're taking like these loose objectives, Herald, Dragon, and some vision in between. They haven't really started playing the map yet. They need to find out a way to push out these lanes and then leave lingering wards that they can then, when they swap up the lanes, teleport to. But H2K's strength this series has been defending their vision, especially when it comes to their jungle. So that's kind of making it very hard for Origen to find an opening with double TP.
Even last game when they had the Corki and they had him with Exhaust, like they didn't have double TP and they were still able to respond to everything Origen were throwing at them. And I don't think this game is going to be too different, but they did have a big advantage in the early game, and factors were different, of course, in the draft. So we'll see how it works as we head into mid game. But we're going to have a lot of just 1v1s and farming right now.
Look at the damage there. One small combo from SoaZ. There's a 2-level difference, 10 to 8. 30 CS, and no tanky stats here for Odo at all. Still just on that Titanic Hydra. So before he can even become relevant this game, H2K need to stall a lot and use the power of Sivir. Really use the power of Sivir.
Very true. And
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I got you. Ryu.
I also think that statement is true.
Great, thanks,
good.
guys.
Ryu?
Let's ask the analyst us. No. So Forgiven in the mid lane. Just going to be farming. Just going to be clearing this one away. One of the strengths of Sivir right now is as soon as you start getting those crits, the minion wave literally evaporates, and then you just move elsewhere.
Well, the outer towers are all down for OG. If H2K can find an opportunity to get deep vision down, they will. But truthfully, their goal is to get Odo farmed. Origen, on the other hand,
they're looking to dive mid.
They've got double TPs.
It's
so
push up side lane collapse. That's what they're doing here. XpeKe's job is not to trade with Ryu. Whenever you're pushing a LeBlanc, she's forced to use distortion on the wave, which gives you easy access for the next wave whenever it's on cooldown. So it's a trickle-down snowball effect here. XpeKe's going to put pressure here. He's going to reveal Ryu in the bot lane, and then he can move in, either clear some of these pink wards, threaten a flank. The same way SoaZ just pushed in top and moved for a flank, and a zoning parallel conversion is likely in the mid lane.
All right, waiting in the wings just outside the jungle. The rest of Origen still remain grouped. They've even pulled XpeKe out, but the wave is pushing towards the tower of H2K. No one is ushering that in. We'll build up slowly but surely if Origen can keep H2K in place. Now it also opens the opportunity to peel away from mid and put pressure either top or bottom. I think top might be pushing towards Origen though. There's that zoning parallel convergence. Nobody really responds from H2K.
Yeah, because the wave's already half destroyed, so it's very hard to do this against a Sivir that knows what she's doing. and you want your both side lanes to push in at the same time so you can double collapse while both of them are revealed, but it's an ideal scenario, and obviously H2K is not just going to wait for you to do that. That's why it's very tricky here. Origen have their side set on the tier 1, but it's being defended right now. So we could see again another fan out here. One in top, one in bot. After picking the Rift Herald, it seems that Origen is consolidating their effort, making a team trip, team bonding in the Rift Herald pit.
Ooh, big chunk of damage into XpeKe. He's caught up by the chains, and the rest of H2K trying to collapse. Remember, Origen are playing for a spot in the finals. If they lose here, they're done, and they're facing off in the third place back in Rotterdam. Hit the Spiderlings, I think, there.
Yeah, his body slam collapsed with the Spiderlings, just barely out of range of Jankos, so he couldn't make that pick. They get the Herald though, but they should be playing on the side lanes. They're gonna use that Herald buff, maybe on SoaZ. Wonder who gets it here. Yeah, he's gonna take it for dueling pressure. He moves quicker, more move speed means he can do more of those nifty little combos and just out-duel, out-push Odoamne overall.
More damage as well, fantastic for him, so he'll most likely go into that bot lane, there we go. And XpeKe will stay in the top lane, he's still fairly healthy. Odoamne just pushing away in the bottom lane. Yeah, maxing Chomp, nothing really out of the ordinary.
Evened up the gold, by the way. Despite being down in CS, Odo is even on gold with SoaZ. The extra tower will be helping out his cause. But still a level down, and still just trying to catch any resources that he can.
Yeah, H2K just, I mean, I feel like a broken record, just done a phenomenal job not allowing any wards on their flanks for these teleports. And whenever Origen tried to force their way in without these, they can't actually get there, and then their side lanes need some fixing again. Right now they're fixing them, one in the bottom lane, but XpeKe has mid again. Yeah, they're not just showing that they're not actually as adept in the 1-3-1 as we expected, because he should have ran from base to top, put the pressure there, push him out, then roll to the mid lane. Obviously, they're under constraints of Fog of War. It's a lot easier for us, man in the sky, to really judge that.
Yeah. But still, it's been a constant in this series. H2K's vision game has just been better, straight up, every single game.
Because now SoaZ arrives, but XpeKe is not here. The Braum shield's not there to block the Q. And SoaZ has to go bottom again. They need to arrive at the same time, so they need to synergize their waves without getting picked off.
Oh, XpeKe with a very early wild growth. Respecting the possibility of what Ryu could put down. And looking in the river, Zven is now going to run into some potential trouble. SoaZ goes toe-to-toe with Odo. And he's going to try run him down, Pulse.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. Parallel convergence, he'll not get the stun, but he'll get the shield. He's going to run away. He does have the cavalry arriving, and Odoamne, he realizes there's no parallel convergence. Peace. See, you know.
Yeah, but that's TP forced, and I think right now Origen could actually change their approach. Instead of going for the 1-3-1 pincer on mid, they could also leave lingering wards and actually see if they can kill one of these side laners. We saw Forgiven flash an ulti used to choke out Amazing. He barely walks away with that one.
Stays alive, so that's two big summoner spells. Flash Cocoon onto XpeKe. They know he doesn't have Flash, and this should be an easy kill. Yes,
good pickoff, good pickoff. Focus to the side lanes instead of tunneling on the mid lane. Both teams realizing that that's the play to make here. H2K do it slightly earlier, slightly better. And Origen, they do have their double teleport, but they're not making any use of it. They're getting locked down again by H2K.
And it's the same combo again of Jankos and Ryu, Elise plus LeBlanc. So this was amazing. Probably biting off more than he can chew. Yeah, good engage from Vander. Is anything particular get him out? No, just lost.
Oh,
Mithy! So good.
Oh, this is a fantastic series to tilt Forgiven though. First he overextends and dies, and then after using Flash with one all attack.
Man, the hero that Amazing needed, not the one he deserved, getting caught out in the mid lane, but fantastic play from Mithy.
That feels good, by the way. If you're Braum doing that.
It really does. You feel like a hero.
First rotation Braum as well. Mithy denied that from Vander. That seemed to be the preferred support maybe for these teams. I did like Mithy's Bard from game 1 though. Albeit it was very, very slow. Regardless, Jankos is going to have some backup from Ryu if he decides to stick around in the jungle. Does not. And waits for Ryu to come in just to clear out this ward. We're still even, 23 minutes in.
Yeah, but the pressure has changed. Sometimes in games like this, you don't have to really look at the gold. You need to see who's making the first move and which team's actually dancing to the tune of their opponents. And it's changed right now. Origen was controlling the early game, but right now it's H2K who's getting the pushes off, making the picks, doing the proactive plays. Yes, Amazing survives there, but it was him on 10%, not Forgiven.
Yeah.
And tide is turning.
Gotta wonder how much of that is like picks and also team, because Sivir allows you to gain a lot of tempos. Like you instant clear the wave, then you move elsewhere. You have members at your disposal elsewhere on the map, whereas like XpeKe, Zven, gonna take a while to clear the wave.
For Origen, it's lack of flexibility in shot calling. They have a play pattern in mind, which is push up side lanes and go mid. But at no point have they considered maybe leave it deep ward in lane, and then when Ryu does this, teleport in with SoaZ. Obviously, now SoaZ has to teleport in the mid lane.
Sivir pops the ultimate, a nice headbutt from Vander knocks away SoaZ. Mithy's going to follow up onto Jankos. Culling comes across as well. Winter's Bite does not land. Amazing. Knocks him against the wall. Repel comes up, but he's going to come back down right into the open arms of SoaZ. That's going to be a 1-0 right there, and Ryu is going to be backing away. 1-0.
Yeah, they need to defend the wave. Look at Mithy. Can he block projectiles? And can they threaten LeBlanc going in to clear the wave? Vander has a combo ready, so only parallel convergence comes out.
Two
Mithy.
teleports and a flash. Mithy's aiming the wrong direction for a theoretical threat. Ryu's going to get some good damage on the Mithy, but importantly, the tower still stands.
Yeah, the Phantom wave clear coming out from the side.
Yep.
Origen invested a lot to get that kill, and now they're running out of time to get the tower.
Yeah, no payout though.
Not yet. OG are going to stay in the mid lane. Odoamne is going to take a bite out of SoaZ. Amazing coming in from the side here. And H2K now pushing up. But it's just a whole lot of posturing in the mid lane, and it's so difficult to make an engage happen if you're going to go through the front door.
Yeah.
Let's see if Origen have learned from that play, though, and maybe try to play some more lane wards. It's a few minutes before those TPs come back
They're down though, no. They're forced to group right now. That plays into H2K's hands here. Look at the forced engage though. Mithy flash ultimate. No exhaust to slow Jankos down. Perhaps going to be quicker because now Amazing's forced to flash. Good opening. But again, a lot gets used here. And just for one kill, no tower. It's a big price to pay.
Especially if H2K can punish it. Now that H2K will actually have the teleport advantage, Odo will have his up in just a few seconds' time. We've already seen the damage that Ryu's putting down. No huge MR stacks yet, but importantly, Amazing has got that locker completed, so at least while he's nearby, it'll help.
Now this is a game though where I have to agree with Monte Cristo on the purchase of a Quicksilver Sash. I think SoaZ, given the lead that he had after the Gauntlet, he should have just rushed QSS. Because that means Odoamne can never even think about fighting him. Instant defense on the ulti. And it's good against Cocoon. Base MR is enough if you play it smart against Ryu too, and guess if you get chained one time. So
Yeah.
I think the Carl build it's a good late game teamfight build, but as opposed to gold spend versus impact in the game, especially considering you're so dependent on winning that matchup as hard as you can, I think USS after Iceborne would have been the preferential buy here for SoaZ.
It's time and place, right? This is one of the games that calls for it. There's a lot that don't. But definitely the EU mid lane away, or top lane away is just like, if I get more items and I kill them faster, then I don't need it. But no, in this game, definitely needs that for the one-on-one. Either way, not going to be the case, and that changes the dynamic of this game, of course. SoaZ goes back into that top lane. Odoamne now has the threat of being able to trade with him with the level 2 substigate.
Yeah, we'll see. It's evened out the level disparity that Odo had against SoaZ.
Yeah, the map
Odon helped out.
The map feels so much smaller right now if you're Origen, because XpeKe is forced to be in the mid lane, because if he's not, Sivir ulti will come out and somebody will get trampled in that stampede.
Crucially for XpeKe, he's got Distortion upgrade on Lucidity Boot, so his teleport is already available. SoaZ has managed to burn through 3/4 of the time frame without any real cost to OG. So yes, they invested a lot for that kill and some damage, but they almost got the ability to do it again.
I mean, there's always the opportunity cost. You know, what could they have been doing in this time? You know, could they have been putting side lane vision deep wards here? They're giving control over to Origen. Yes, it may not reflect in the gold, but these games are decided by who gets to push first, gets the vision in, and then gets to pay off later right now. H2K, they're putting in some money into their retirement fund right now. Eventually it'll pay off.
When does it pay off? Is there a minute to that?
35?
35?
A little earlier than real life. Baron, kind of.
Okay, okay.
The Baron power play, that's your retirement fund.
Let's see if it pays off for them. Ryu,
Some
down the
people
bottom
go
lane.
bankrupt.
Yeah, it's a very real possibility. H2K, though, I have a lot of faith in their retirement fund.
They're 2-1 up in the series. Like, it's an
Yeah.
unfair statement to make.
Well, no, it's an
You're
absolutely
cheating.
fair statement.
You're cheating.
It's
Can
unfair
we
for me
not
to say
question his faith, please?
Yeah.
It's not the place nor the time, Trevor.
And of course, what these guys are fighting for is those championship points. Right? A win here puts you in the final, one step closer to MSI. 90 championship points if you win there, 70 if you lose. Big difference. If you lose today, The third, fourth place, you're talking 50 and 30.
Yeah, but more than the championship points, I think the MSI, what you mentioned there, it's the pride. I mean, H2K, they want to win. They made it to Worlds last year on the merit of those championship points, but right now they want to go to MSI, show people why everybody considers them such a good team. Hopefully fix some of the issues that they had in games 1 and 2.
Yep. Like they were saying, the pressure's on them to be better than they were last year, Odoamne was saying. And it's definitely true. In this series, there's been mistakes, there's been problems, but there's also, we've seen the strength of H2K.
There's also been a whole lot of nothing
Look,
in the mid
very
game.
true.
It's 2-2 right now, but 29 minutes in the game.
I'll be honest, not a lot of action.
You've also got to give some props to H2K's like defensive play when behind.
Yeah.
Hey, man,
It is a true skill to be able to play the game when you're losing.
If you enjoy tactical pink ward placement, I think this is a great series then, but
Yeah, Deficio
some
is-
people like a little more
Yeah,
action, and I just want to say, you know what? I understand that. If it's not like this right here, you may think this is just the average pink ward, but what the implications of the game here, just denying the vision, the rotations, there's so many layers of it. It's like a beautiful onion.
I want to get Deficio's thoughts on that. I know he loves pink wards.
Perhaps you're more like Odoamne. Perhaps you do not like pink wards.
You want to destroy them. You just want to build something, man. Why you
I
gotta
just want
be
to
so
play with
mean?
pink man.
Yeah. No pinks, no drinks. No action.
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow, dude.
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. Okay, okay. All right,
Guys, there's not a lot happening.
30 minutes in. 30 minutes in. Origen, if they do not pick up a win here, that's it. They're donezo for the semifinals, and will be in that third place battle. It's 50k apiece as far as gold is concerned, but Origen have not made this double TP work very well. I think all series long. I think they've hesitated to pull the trigger at times. They've been very slow.
The start of the Lissandra game, where PoE played, that was phenomenal. Towards the end, they were a little hesitant. Right now, Origen, yeah, looking to break out of this hold that they have. Odoamne is down to the bottom, so that's going to buy them some time here. Once Odoamne reveals himself, you can see probably some more aggression come out from Origen.
We hope.
So, what are those two pinks in the mid lane for OG? What are they meant to do? Are they just like trying to make...
Anti-TP wards. You don't want a Trundle in your back
Okay.
when you're splitting up. Imagine if you're going for the 1-3-1 and you're in the setup phase and somehow H2K catches wind and you're trying to challenge the push in the mid lane. If Trundle comes from behind, you're done for. And that one kill gives you Baron, gives you game.
All right, one kill onto Amazing. Not going to work out. The headbutt actually just nudged him over the edge.
But that's what it means for Origen. Look at it, 3 blink wards this close together. It feels, the map feels small for them because they're not putting pressure on the side lanes because they made that one failure. And ever since, H2K has them pinned down. And that's the difference. Yes, it seems even, but the fact that you have all your pink wards so close together on the map as opposed to H2K where they were placed for a goal for the Baron, you can understand that Origen, they feel very contrived here.
Restricted.
Yeah, restricted.
Yeah. I mean, if you're an OG situation, you got to play it like this because you're one loss away from just losing the series right here. And
Yeah. It's gotten to the point where Zven is so afraid, as we get the good old tour of Summer's Rift, that he's not feeling safe to farm in mid lane. They're putting XpeKe mid and they're putting Zven on the side lane, catching some farm here. So this is not the play pattern that Origen is looking for. So this is again testament to H2K's tenacity in the early to mid game.
So let's talk a little bit about them, the team comps, because we're well into the stages of late game. At least beginning that way. 3-4 items starting to be picked up across most of the board. There's even MR here for Zven with that Hex Drinker. The damage somewhat runs out from Origen.
Yep, most it certainly does. It's all on Zven. If they can survive the initial engage here, which there will not be because they seem to be outranged, but then Zven needs to stay alive and just deal damage. It's kite for Origen. Just kill frontline as best as they can.
I mean, Sivir ult's generally like a war cry, but in this game, Forgiven's just been crying. It's like every time he pops it, nothing happens. It's like, oh, I got Alistar in range, or we tried to engage mid lane, but it just doesn't happen unless you get a flank, and OG are playing so far back, it's not going to happen. H2K's vision control is so good, not going to happen.
There is that gif of the guy kind of wiping his face with money, you know, drying his tears. That's what Forgiven's doing here. He's just farming.
That's true.
That's the equivalent.
Look at the jungle. SoaZ is chasing Odo all the way through, but I feel like Odo actually somewhat won that fight looking at HP bars. And the rest of Origen and H2K, they had their little dance in the middle lane. H2K has started to set up vision around the Baron pit, but they've not made a concerted effort to actually bait it or play around that objective.
Yeah, but look at the location of that fight. Whereas SoaZ was up 50 CS in the early game, 75 to 25 almost. They were fighting on SoaZ's turfs. Right now, SoaZ is the one being pushed in, forced in the corner, forced to react. Odoamne has continuous push pressure on that lane, so he has the momentum. Ryu has always been fighting dueling XpeKe in this area here in the top lane, putting threat here. So Origen is being pushed in both lanes. They finally get access to this mid lane tower, but I doubt H2K really care. It served its purpose long enough. As long as they can deny some deep TP wars, tower was not that useful for them.
There's been such a big difference from early game because SoaZ had that massive CS advantage over Odoamne. They had like a 3-level advantage as well, but now Odoamne is leading, and that is a Quicksilver sass. Sass.
Ooh,
Sassy.
I like
So
the
much
stats.
sass in this top lane.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, he's gonna. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really want to touch that.
You think you're going to feel?
Looking at the rest of the
girl.
items,
I'm opting out.
all right, I'm glad that you are. Sven, really under a huge amount of threat. Frozen Heart was picked up by Vander a while ago. Randy on Zoma for Jankos. Death Cap. It's been sitting on XpeKe's head for a little while.
Alright, Pekka's in the bot lane. Good. SoaZ is top.
Why? Dude, you said it, now he's running away. Look, so Tower's under pressure. This could get taken out by H2K if they commit to it quickly enough.
Flying from Amazing here.
I've seen this flank before. It didn't end up very well for Origen. I'm going to try to set it up. Cocoon, as Amazing's body slam is flying mid-air. And SoaZ has kept everyone busy. The Glacial Fish is down. We may have a fight.
We may not. And it's the latter.
Some great play-by-play here, guys. Jesus Christ, can we get some hype here?
XpeKe! He's onto this Herald. He's onto this Rift Scuttler.
That's not a Herald, mate.
Yeah, mate, the Herald has been gone for like 16 minutes.
He couldn't watch it anymore. He was
Yeah.
out. I'm out, guys. Replace
Yep.
me.
At least I got the hype. I didn't get anything else.
Okay.
Yeah, SoaZ here, getting pushed in again. The entire scope of this matchup has changed. Yeah, Odoamne is now winning these trades later. So,
All right, H2K, they knew they were losing 30 minutes ago in terms of that matchup. Now they're winning. Let's see how they play around it, because Odoamne is going to unlock a lot of entry into Origen's jungle, as we saw from that previous play, just heading to that top lane. Yes, it didn't result in a massive amount, but it's H2K still playing on the front foot, still forcing Origen to react.
and it's the precursor to a Baron play. That's what they want to do here. Go in, set that vision out, and then they want to isolate the Baron. Either force a face check here that you can punish phenomenally well with the Sivir ultimate and a pillar coming out, or just simply rush down the Baron. We're at the point in the game here, 35 minutes in, where you can start thinking about your future. Cash in that retirement home. Fun. Get that Baron buff and close out the game, and that's what Origen desperately want to defend. That's why we see XpeKe peeling back again. Every time he's like, I want to split push bottom, but I can't. I need to help my team. 5 seconds is not enough to get around to the fight, because people might be dead by then.
Yeah. Especially with the amount of damage that Ryu's putting out. A lot of them are still being stacked though. Double lockets on the side of OG.
But Odoamne is not going to ulti SoaZ anymore though. So that's the problem with QSS in a sense. You need both your tanks to pick it up to render Trundle ulti useless, because he's just going to say, look at Amazing. He's like, you know that armor you have there?
I have
You made this?
Yeah. I made this.
Yeah.
Look who's in charge now. That's what H2K are currently saying.
Look at the farm from Sivir right now. 434 at 36 minutes.
Oh, did you guys see the cheeky retweet from Froggen? So there was a while ago, we now have time to talk about this, how the crazy farm game from Froggen, where Forgiven made a tweet, yeah, no, you shouldn't get this much farm. Hang on, Sven.
The one time, and Sven will get engaged on, but he's going to be kiting back. Vander and Jankos now under attack. Ryu coming in from the side. He burns his flash. Odoamne, he's looking to be the front line that they need. Ryu gets jumped on. The E, the flash, the SoaZ will be giving him the baguette, and he goes down 1-0 in this fight.
It's not over yet. Origen are looking for war. Odoamne is killed. Sven is on a killing spree. 3-0-1. And Origen are peeled back for Baron.
Yeah, super sassy SoaZ gives the baguette there to H2K, and H2K, they initiate the fight. They try and catch Zven, but if he does not drop immediately, suddenly it becomes incredibly easy for Origen to kite. Super Zven running away with help, parallel convergence for the zone, and H2K, they lose the team fight, they lose the Baron, and so much anticipation to ruin my story as well.
Yeah. The one time, like, we just need you to say more stories, because then they interrupt you.
Jesus, but yeah, good play here from Origen. The punish here, they were ready though for any action that H2K give, and it's exactly why XpeKe wouldn't want to be on the side lane, because he just wants to be in range to help his team, and patience pays off.
Yeah, the amount of time it would have taken to get there, Sven may have been a dead man. Origen have got themselves one turret. They're onto an inhibitor turret. Phase dive from SoaZ onto the tower. And this should secure super minions in the middle lane. That retirement fund from H2K looking like it's in jeopardy. Some bad investments have been made. H2K are in the full attack mode. SoaZ, defensive convergence, and as is the barrel. Jankos is not done yet. A teleport from Odo. He's found Zven, but Zven is staying alive!
Amazing gets knocked up as well. H2K should be able to converge on this one, but they're actually going to carry on towards SoaZ and towards Mithy. Great pillar by Odoamne, but the minion line comes in. Glacial Fisher just for the disengage. 1-0. They managed to chase down XpeKe and take him out.
We need to see what they can get on the back of this play, though. Can Origen keep their inhibitor alive? 45. Minions are very far away. I reckon they actually can, so it's going to be big.
It's going to help out.
Yeah, Super Minions will help, so that's teleport use from Odoamne. Remember,
XpeKe's going to have his available once he respawns in 30 seconds. A body slam from Amazing. He gets caught up by the pillar of ice / filth, depending on how long you've been playing League.
I mean, look at the side lanes here. If they can keep H2K busy here with some aggressive posturing or just pushing mid lanes, they have access to side lanes later on. This was against Q-Flash. They'll be back into Cocoon. And then Mithy, yeah, blocking all the damage. The tanks come in. Odoamne and Ryu were not ready for that play. And then Zven survives. One QR combo from Ryu would have been enough. But at this point, the fight's over. Once you don't immediately kill Zven, you can say bye-bye to a teamfight win.
And that was it. It was a cleanup from here, really. And then OG just go for the Baron, pick it up, and pretty decent power play, apart from losing XpeKe at the end.
Yeah, and see how the state of the map is once we come out of this replay.
I mean, we had shoving side lanes. We obviously don't know what's happening right now.
Our observers are just highlighting the action. It's been a long period of non-action. Special hello and thank you to the fans in the NALCS studio who are waiting for this series to conclude before CLG and Team Liquid take the room. But there was that teleport, knowing that Odo used his, yes, it got a kill and some damage, but
Zven almost drops there. XpeKe sacrifices himself like a true leader should. This is still a replay, by the way, guys. We're not live. Here we are, live.
We don't want to lead by example, right? It's just like they die and like, oh, that's a good idea, lemmings, and then they just go in and die. Zven leading the charge. That happened so much, by the way. Zven just
that was his strength. Playing in the front lines and not being afraid to dash aggressively, knowing his team had his back. He has double peel here. Mithy with the shield, XpeKe with the steroids, and then he has another tank to take care of him.
Yeah, Gragas can even boot anybody away if they make it past any of those potential threats. Origen got a 3,000 gold Baron power play. 41 minutes in, they've got supers in the mid lane. They've got an inner turret in the bottom lane.
But they got breathing room. They got breathing room. That's the most important part of this. They got out of that chokehold that H2K had on them because they were slowly losing control. It was due to a mistake on H2K's part, though. And Vander right now is regretting that he doesn't have an exhaust for Zven available.
Yeah.
Zven, no QSS picked up because there's nothing he really cares about. He's not going to get cocooned, he thinks, unless it's a Q-Flash. And then even then, he has peel for him, so he can go for an ultra-high damage DPS lifesteal build.
And the thing is, if you look at actually this entire series, that Vander play was a very good summary of what has happened multiple times this series. H2K, after playing slow, patient, controlled, they make an aggressive move. They make the, you know, proactive play, and they get punished for it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the build here. So it's very unconventional to see Quicksilver Sash being not picked up here in favor for a Bloodthirster here on Zven, because he knows all he has to do is drop low, or, well, ideally it doesn't drop low.
All he has to do is dive in, drop low.
Go to 10%, get the Maw proc though, but if he goes low and then he gets a Wild Growth here, when the Maw is procced, he becomes almost unkillable, you know, additional lifesteal, Bloodthirster shield overall, these shields from Lulu coming out, and then a Braum using Stand Behind Me, and then the shield to block so much damage. It's a good adaptation, because he, I mean, by the time a chain procs, LeBlanc's dead if she fights them.
Yeah.
The only thing that he's really scared of is a Cocoon. And maybe a Q-Flash, because you can QSS Flash out of a knock-up, but yeah, if he plays well enough and relies on his team, the build can keep him alive.
So currently, OG are just kind of fanning out. They've got these 4 people in the mid lane, bot lane, SoaZ is pushing out. On the other side, Forgiven's playing his own mini-game. How many creeps can I get in the game? 42 minutes into this game and 550.
Yeah, and Forgiven has the same build here, but he will get punished by Exhaust because he can't get rid of it. So that's the difference here. Zven will get ignited, but Forgiven will see his damage overall and attack speed drop. With the Exhaust coming out from Mithy, it's minor things. Obviously, positioning has major impact, but it's things worth noting.
Indeed. So Odoamne now pushing in the bottom lane. Has to be a little fearful of SoaZ if he turns up, though.
Yeah, a minute and a half until Baron. Vision has been placed by Origen, relatively deep, and Origen have got both teleports available. So
they've definitely pivoted to a 4-1 style here. The teleporting XpeKe is kind of useless. It will only be put in play, I think, once SoaZ has his one burned for whatever reason, and they feel the need to group. But XpeKe is just on guard duty, keeps Zven alive.
Starting to reach actually complete builds here for multiple players in the game. Supports.
Yeah.
It's the
You're like, you know
pain
what?
of every support.
Third item at 43 minutes. Nice.
It's good going. But
We should definitely look at how much they've spent on wards this series. That'd be an interesting one. Spellsy, why not?
get on that. But also, when you start hitting like 6 items, less pink wards start getting picked up because you start having to get those big items and you no longer have slots. So that becomes an issue later on into the game. Another push coming in the mid lane from OG because the inhibitor has respawned. So it's something you want to pressure.
And they are pressuring it. Teleport is available for SoaZ. Odo is still matching him blow for blow in that bottom lane. You can see on the mini-map. Sven cheekily steps forward. Stand behind me has been used. And Sven will easily secure that inhibitor. No contest or challenge from H2K.
Yeah, and I wonder, just the mental aspect of some of these games here. They're very tedious, they're very slow, and then when you do pull the trigger like Vander, everything failed. Then I wonder, does he get to his head because he had a somewhat poor Bard experience too in game 2 or 3? And then now this Alistar where he pulls the trigger once and costs him team a Baron and potentially the game. I wonder if we'll see him afraid of engages right now.
There's a possibility Baron has now spawned, so that will be potentially a point of contention, or just around the mid lane instead. Jankos, he's backing away. SoaZ did TP in. We do have a pause.
All right. See what this is all about.
Yeah.
So it was an attempted face check from Jankos, who then dodged the ultimate, and then the ward that got revealed actually from the teleport, he decided to repel towards.
Just to give an update, it seems XpeKe's keyboard mechanics were not on point. It is a keyboard-related problem. So
Plugged it in wrong, maybe. Yeah.
he's busy checking that one out.
Yeah, I wonder what the implications of that are on this gank. I don't think, unless XpeKe could have whimsied Jankos there, I don't think the gank would have played out any different. Obviously, if there's any inputs that he can't get off, it would have looked slightly different. But I don't think there was been a major impact from XpeKe here. Again, it was the repel upwards before any CC came out from Mithy, and then Jankos actually really smart, really aware. There was a ward being lit up due to the teleport that he then used to hop towards. That's why you never ward when an Elise goes to Raptors. You never ever put a ward to see where she goes, because if the Raptors are down, you're literally giving her an escape, and then you feel dumb. Source, me.
Good to know.
Twice.
One game or overtime?
No, overtime.
Okay, okay.
So there's an update I'm hearing from production team that'll be another 2 or 3 minutes just while we query the keyboard problem with XpeKe.
Yep.
And we'll give you an update on that one. As we're looking at H2K, interesting side note. We're 45 minutes into the game, and Forgiven has picked up 585 CS.
Close to the 600 that he...
Just for the record.
Oh, we can finish the story.
Just for the record, he set the European LCS farm record in game 1 of this series with 628.
Okay.
Now, that took 55 minutes to farm up. So I know Froggen is probably, hopefully, watching and laughing at those numbers.
So, yeah.
And we'll have to see if Forgiven can break the spring split record, which is already set once
All right,
today.
I'm ready for story time. Crepo,
No, I
head
just
on
love
us.
the banter. It was so Froggen had that crazy game where he got like 600 or 700 farm, and then Forgiven tweeted at him, was like, yeah, you know, TLDR, Henrik, it's a team game. Otherwise, we would have had 600 CF every game per 40 minutes. It's happened twice now, so Froggen just replied with a little smiley tweet right there. Like, I guess you're not really playing as a team today. And frankly, all banter aside,
Yes,
he's
it's
a
a
little bit
true-
right.
It's
It
such a
is-
good point.
It is somewhat of a true story. We are jumping back into game, ladies and gentlemen. There was pressure on Odo. He has his teleport available. We might be straight into a fight. Ryu's looking to put pressure down. Well, there's no
That's a low
hesitation.
Baron.
Yeah, teleport has come from Odo, and the fight breaks out.
It is a fight tonight, Trev, as Odoamne goes in. Now Vander's going in as well, but Amazing is already dead. And now H2K are just trying to run down OG. Maybe the other way around. Sven is in good shape. Good pillar out from Vander there. And Sven will follow up. Odoamne just cutting back and forth. This is getting very intense.
There's a wild growth still available. It's not going to be used just yet. Finally thrown down in a Sven. It's a double kill for Ryu. H2K may be winning this fight, but SoaZ isn't over yet. Zven's trying to stay alive, and it's a triple kill for Ryu. Turns his attention to SoaZ. Massive minion wave in the top lane. Origen got obliterated.
Yeah, but in the setup for that fight and the pause, Origen forgot their entire memo when it comes to approaching these team fights. They have to kite. They have to move backwards in the fights, never engage. You see, in any of these parts of these fights, whenever a team moved backwards and was killing the front line while kiting, they were winning that part of the fight. It's only when people overstep forward that Origen paid the price. We saw a body slam aggressive flash from Amazing, but that's not what you want to do. You want to isolate one target. Watch this again. Amazing's half HP here. Mithy's half HP. It's an ill-advised Baron. Zoning parallel convergence comes out. Imagine if they just draw in Vander and Jankos here, but Amazing instead goes in. There's no value from this parallel convergence instead, and Amazing just melts.
Oh, we have to jump back to live. SoaZ is in trouble. Has already used Chrono Break. The Baron is at 12 seconds before XpeKe can come back up. And thank goodness for that Mercurial.
Yeah, and we see Amazing actually building towards QSS of himself, because I think he was Trundled, because there's no way he should melt that quickly in these fights.
All right, so 47 minutes in. Origen, they still maintain a minor lead. Teleport is available for XpeKe, and they've bought enough time here to survive and try put some additional pressure down. This is game 4 in this best of 5. Origen still looking to find some control.
Yeah, I actually have a question in this one, because when you start hitting 6 items on multiple people at the same time, do you place down pink wards at the places you really want it and try and defend them, like with your lives, or do you, like, how do you change your playstyle as you start capping out?
I mean, depends here. Hang on.
That's
is NA.
NA. So shout out to North American LCS crowd, who are most likely supporting H2K.
Do you guys also like pink wards over in North America?
Because we do.
We definitely do. Let's
Yes,
take a look
yes,
at
they
this
do.
posturing. Remember, the last team fight that happened almost cost Origen. Baron is still available, and the tension is so thick you can cut it with a knife.
Yeah, the problem is you just have less pink wards, so you can't really get access to perfect vision control. So you really need to make that sweeper count. Hang on, SoaZ, vision doesn't matter anymore though. At this point, it's gonna be one big brutal fight. SoaZ is on a flank here. Let's see, Kite is right.
But is the fight? It looks tight tonight.
Yeah, that's nice rhyming.
That's right.
All right. You sound like a bad meow from Team Rocket.
Yeah.
At least there's one guy clapping here.
Yeah, there's only one. On the hunt thrown down from Forgiven. His farming record is
XpeKe's not here.
not being challenged though. But again, another on the hunt that just does nothing.
Big minion wave in the bottom lane though from OG, so they do have that tempo. Now H2K actually in the bottom side of the map, so they'll send someone down there to deal with it. Probably will be Ryu. Now Dragon spawn, so OG go to get this. It will be the 4th one of the game, which actually is relevant because they could hit 5 in 6 minutes from now, which is very rare to have 6 dragons go down in a game. 48 minutes into this one, so we'll see if that happens. 619 farm now from Forgiven.
All right, Trevor, he's pointing at his piece of paper. He really cares about the CS record. All right, go ahead. Tell us why it matters.
Oh, it's just pointing out the numbers. Might break the European Spring Split record. Maybe not yet, because Forgiven's in trouble. SoaZ is trying to run him down. Ryu jumps forward. Chrono break from SoaZ on Forgiven's own. 250 HP. Very big shield, but they've killed Odoamne. Origen have an advantage. Forgiven follows suit.
This fight is so messy, but now OG onto Vander. He'll be dropping, trying to buy some time. That's the double kill out from Zven. 3 and 1. Advantage OG, back and forth in this game. They're looking to apply some pressure.
They could finish the game. 2 members of H2K alive, and Jankos is being run down by Zven. Ryu bursts out Zven, but not able to find the kill. And it's Jankos that pays the price. Winians are doing work for H2K, but Origen are looking at the base.
Ryu is down for the count. SoaZ finds him. That's the ace. 5 for 1. OG pushing into the base. And in this best of 5, they're looking to even this up to all the last game. And maybe the XpeKe effect was real.
Well, we'll find out. It certainly slowed the pace of the game. Origen are onto the Nexus turrets and in a slugfest of a match. Even out the series at 2-2. We're going all the way, and that means Silver Scrapes.
GG.